नमस्कार। संसद भवन से मैं प्रदीप शर्मा अपने साथी कमेंटेटर सुनीत टंडन के साथ आपका अभिनंदन करता हूं। अब से कुछ ही देर बाद संसद के दोनों सदनों को महामहिम राष्ट्रपति महोदय संबोधित करेंगे केंद्रीय कक्ष में, और कारों का काफिला अब यहां पहुंचता हुआ ये सूचना देता हुआ कि अति विशिष्ट व्यक्ति यहां पहुंच रहे हैं और पहुंच चुके हैं। और इसके साथ ही आज बजट सत्र का भी शुभारंभ होगा। सुनीत, ये एक ऐसी परंपरा है जो हमेशा निभाई जाती है और महामहिम राष्ट्रपति महोदय अभी वे यहाँ पहुंच और उपराष्ट्रपति भैरों सिंह शेखावत ने, प्रधानमंत्री डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह और लोकसभा अध्यक्ष सोमनाथ चटर्जी ने अभिनंदन किया महामहिम राष्ट्रपति का। प्रियरंजन दास मुंशी संसदीय कार्य मंत्री, उन्होंने अगवानी की राष्ट्रपति महोदय की, और अब वे धीरे धीरे केंद्रीय कक्ष की ओर बढ़ते हुए। सुनीत।
Yes, thank you, Pradeep. This is gate number 5 of the Parliament building, and this is the gate from which traditionally the President arrives to address a joint sitting of both houses, to address it, to speak to it, and to deliver a speech in which the policies of the government will be outlined. The salute given by the President's bodyguard. And after the salute, it's time for the formal procession to go down the red carpet through the open courtyard towards the central hall of Parliament, where the joint sitting of the two houses will take place, which will be addressed by the President formally. The speech that the President gives on the occasion is written by the government and outlines the programs and policies of the government for the coming year. And here we are, the formal procession, forming up to go down the red carpet towards the central hall of Parliament. Pradeep.
और एक बार फिर हम अपने दर्शकों का संसद भवन से अभिनंदन करते हैं। महामहिम राष्ट्रपति अभी कुछ देर पहले यहां पहुंचे हैं और केंद्रीय कक्ष में आज संसद के दोनों सदनों को संबोधित करेंगे, और आज से ही बजट सत्र आरंभ होगा। और जैसा कि हम सभी जानते हैं कि हर वर्ष जब नया सत्र आरंभ होता है संसद का, तब राष्ट्रपति महोदय संबोधित करते हैं दोनों सदनों को। इसके साथ ही जब नई लोकसभा का गठन होता है, उसके बाद भी जो पहला सत्र आरंभ होता है, तब भी महामहिम राष्ट्रपति वे संबोधित करते हैं संसद के दोनों सदनों को। और इस समय उपराष्ट्रपति भैरों सिंह शेखावत, प्रधानमंत्री डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह, लोकसभा अध्यक्ष सोमनाथ चटर्जी, संसदीय कार्य मंत्री प्रियरंजन दास मुंशी, लोकसभा के महासचिव PDT आचार्य और राज्यसभा के महासचिव योगेंद्र नारायण, वे भी महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी के साथ धीरे धीरे केंद्रीय कक्ष की ओर बढ़ते हुए।
Yes, the central hall, Pradeep, was originally actually used as a library, and it was converted and refurnished to be the assembly hall for the Constituent Assembly, where the constitution of the nation was drafted. And this is, of course, the hall where the transfer of power from the British to Indian hands took place on the 15th of August 1947 as well. So it's an extremely historic hall with a dome which is 98 feet in height, 29.87 meters in diameter. And at the entrance of the President into the central hall, traditionally there will be a trumpet fanfare, and then when the President and the other dignitaries take their place on the dais, the national anthem.
केंद्रीय कक्ष का जो गुंबद है वो विश्व के शानदार गुंबदों में से एक है, और केंद्रीय कक्ष में किसी दूसरे देश के राष्ट्राध्यक्ष द्वारा संसद सदस्यों को संबोधित किया जाता है। लेकिन आज महामहिम राष्ट्रपति महोदय बजट सत्र क्योंकि आरंभ हो रहा है, इस वर्ष का पहला सत्र आरंभ हो रहा है, तो दोनों सदनों को संबोधित करेंगे संसद के।
The President proceeding down the aisle, greeted by members of both houses. The President will deliver his address in English, and later the Hindi translation or part thereof will be read by the Vice President. And now the national anthem.
प्यारे दोस्तों नमस्कार। नया साल हो मुबारक। कार्य करें हम निरंतर, कर्मबद्ध पर चलकर पढ़ते रहें हम आगे। कौम और मुल्क की खिदमत हो हमारा असम, यही है प्रार्थना ईश्वर में मेरी। Dear friends, honorable members, my greetings to you all. It is with a sense of optimism that we look forward to the new year. A nation of 1 billion people rising to its potential is an exciting feeling. The feeling is palpable. It is not merely the statistics of economic growth or enthusiasm that the world outside has shown for the Indian opportunity that makes this time so exciting. It is the fact that as a nation we have collectively decided to sing the differences of the past, that we have restored to our polity a sense of healing, that we have restored to our society a sense of inclusiveness, and that we have given our economy a sense of purpose. Our economy is on the move and our people are on the march. After a period of none too exciting growth of around 5% per annum during 1999-2003, the economy has bounced back, recording 7.5% growth in 2004-2005 and likely to cross 8% in 2005-2006. This is probably a precursor to better times to come in the future. Equally importantly, the rate of inflation has remained at modest level despite a sharp increase in global energy prices. For the common man, for each of our families, the most important economic variable is the price of commodities. So it is a matter of immense satisfaction that even in the face of an unprecedented rise in the global oil prices, the Indian economy has performed exceedingly well. My government's prudent and judicious management of the economy has greatly helped in this. The renewed optimism of the people whose creative energies are being unleashed has also played its part. The optimism is visible in the saving rate, which is now 29%, and the investment rate, which is near 31%. Confidence in India, in our democracy, and in our economy has never been higher. We have been able to restore the pluralistic ethos that is the essence of India. We have been able to reverse a dangerous trend of intolerance that had begun to eat into the vitals of our nation and restore pluralism, tolerance, and compassion. We have been able to replace debates that sought to divide the nation with the debates that matter every day, living of the people, debates on issues concerned on the armed army. It is heartening to see that there is active discussion in government, media, civil society about the options for growth, poverty reduction, education, health, employment, basic facilities, infrastructure, empowering of the people, and helping marginalized and weaker sections catch up. Such debates are the lifeblood of our democracy. This government was voted to office to effect this precise change. This has accomplished to inspire a new generation of Indians to celebrate the fruits of our freedom struggle. My government is drawing up impressive plans to celebrate 150th anniversary of the first war of independence by next year. My government has been able to create a new architecture of inclusive development built on the foundation of the 5 pillars. These are the National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, a historic piece of legislation to provide income security to the poor and bridge the rural poverty gap. Bharat Nirman, a time-bound plan to create a better rural infrastructure. The National Rural Health Mission to address gaps in basic health. The Jawaharlal Nehru Mission for Urban Renewal to ensure a dynamic, visionary, inclusive, and caring process of urbanization, and the strengthened Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan with a universal midday meal program. The National Rural Employment Guarantee Act marks a new beginning in our country towards guaranteeing the right to work. The act, initially covering 200 less developed districts, holds revolutionary potential to alter the rural economy by providing a safety net to the poor. It will also enable creation of assets. It is for the first time in the world that a major employment program is being undertaken on such a scale, and its progress would be keenly watched by observers of development all over the world. The union, state and local governments and Panchayat Raj institutions need to work together for the success of this program. A major people's program for water conservation will be linked to this program. Bharat Nirman is a time-bound plan for providing a basic infrastructure in our rural areas. This flagship program of my government will, by the year 2009, seek to provide electricity connection to every village in the country, provide an all-weather road to every habitation of 1,000 population and above, or 500 in hilly and tribal areas, provide every habitation a safe source of drinking water, provide every village a telephone connection, create 1 crore hectares of additional irrigation capacity, construct 60 lakh houses for the rural poor. Building on the ongoing schemes and large additional investment that are being channelized to this effort, Bharat Nirman will impart a sense of urgency to these goals by making the program time-bound, transparent and accountable. This integrated investment in rural infrastructure will unlock the growth potential of rural India and provide urban amenities in rural areas. Friends, a national rural health mission has been launched with the intention of providing universal basic health care for our people. The mission, based on the contextual district level plans based on the local priorities, will enable health care delivery in a manner which meets the local needs. It will also link action in health care with complementary efforts in areas such as safe drinking water, sanitation and nutrition. In addition to upgradation of all primary health centers to community health centers, each district will be improved in the first phase to a level as defined through Indian public health standards. The Jawaharlal Nehru National Urban Renewal Mission is the single largest initiative since independence for the development of our cities. The mission, covering 63 cities, will enable their comprehensive development in the areas of urban infrastructure and basic services to urban poor, linking new investment to governance reform. The successful implementation of the Delhi Metro project has generated demands for the improved urban transport in many other cities. Plans for Mumbai Metro and the Bangalore Metro are in the final stage of consideration. Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan has been strengthened and combined with the program for universalization of the midday meal program, which now covers 12 crore children. This initiative should have a positive impact on the enrollment and attendance at school and on the nutritional status of our children. My government has taken several other steps in the realm of education to widen access and ensure excellence. The liberal funding of the scholarship for the students hailing from scheduled caste and scheduled tribe families, families of ex-servicemen and the minorities will help improve the educational status of these disadvantaged groups. My government has sanctioned creation of over 1,000 Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalayas in educationally backward blocks of 21 states to provide free residential education to underprivileged girls at the upper primary level. Honorable members, my government has given the highest priority to the welfare of our farmers and to develop our rural economy. There has been a 60% increase in credit to the agriculture sector. Long-term measures for the revival of cooperative credit institution as recommended by the Vaidyanathan committee are being implemented. The central and state governments have arrived at the consensus on the revival package of the short-term rural cooperative credit structure involving a financial package of about rupees 14,000 crores and linked to reforms in the cooperative sector. A revival package for the long-term cooperative credit structure is also being studied. My government is committed to having a common market for agriculture produce so that farmers get better farm gate prices. This is being done by making warehouse receipts negotiable instruments, amending the Essential Commodities Act, working with states to amend local agricultural produce marketing acts, and expanding the food supply and storage chain. With a view to cover the risks involved in agricultural operation, the scope and coverage of the National Agricultural Insurance Scheme has been expanded. My government is committed to doing all that is possible to protect the livelihoods of small and marginal farmers. Considering the agroclimatic variation and consequent advantage for the production of different types of fruits and vegetables in the country, the government has paying special attention towards the development of horticulture. With this objective, the government has launched the National Horticulture Mission during 2005-2006 with a total outlay of 2,300 crores for the remaining period of the 10th five-year plan. Better water management holds the key to agricultural growth in the country. Water use efficiency can be greatly improved through the installation of a drip sprinkler and fertigation systems. There is also a need to address the needs of regions which are still dependent on the rainfall. A National Rainfed Area Authority is being established which will look into all the dimensions of managing water resources in these areas. In addition to the 1 crore hectares being brought under the irrigation under Bharat Nirman, my government has also begun work on elements of the interlinking of peninsular rivers, beginning with work of 2 such links. My government is in the process of setting up a National Biotechnology Regulatory Authority, which will be the nodal authority for release, import and post-release and monitoring of GM crops and seeds. The quality of control of GM seeds is an important issue, and it is proposed to strengthen the state seed testing laboratories. To promote biofuel, a national biodiesel program is proposed to be launched in 2006-2007. Honorable members, in order to accelerate economic growth, investment in infrastructure is a necessity. Government is committed to developing a world-class infrastructure to make our economy more competitive and to make every citizen feel proud. While the public sector will continue to play an important role, it is necessary to create a policy and regulatory environment that attracts long-term private investment in infrastructure. The Committee on Infrastructure, under the chairmanship of the Prime Minister, is vigorously pursuing this objective. Friends, my government has set up a special purpose vehicle called the India Infrastructure Finance Corporation Limited to provide long-term debt funds to commercially viable projects in infrastructure sectors. This will ensure that infrastructure projects which may be rendered unviable due to long gestation period are not ignored due to lack of long-term debt in the financial markets. The National Highways Development Project is being implemented as a national priority. The work of 4-laning of the Golden Quadrilateral is nearing completion. An action plan for further development of the national highway network involving a total investment of rupees 175,000 crore over the next 7 years has been finalized. This includes 4-laning of an additional 10,000 kilometers of national highways carrying high volume of traffic and 6-laning of the Golden Quadrilateral. A new model concession agreement has been approved by government to facilitate the public-private partnership in the roads. My government intends to create world-class airports in India. A comprehensive civil aviation policy is on the anvil. The process of a modernization and expansion of the Delhi and Mumbai airports through public-private partnership has already commenced. Greenfield international airports at Bangalore and Hyderabad have been approved. Plans are being made for the modernization and development of Calcutta and Chennai airports. A comprehensive plan for the planned development of other regional airports is under finalization. Friends, port infrastructure is critical to economic growth. It is essential to attract massive private investment for upgradation and modernization of ports. The program for allocation of berths at major Indian ports for construction through the public-private partnership route is being expanded. A model concession agreement is being formulated for this purpose. Our railways has once again become a source of great pride with a perceptible improvement in their performance. Government has decided to build 2 dedicated high-capacity freight corridors, the Eastern Corridor from Ludhiana to Shonnagar and the Western Corridor from Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust to Dadri with an investment over 20,000 crores. A preliminary work will commence on these projects within 1 year. Keeping in view the increasing demand for the movement of the cargo through containers, it has been decided that this sector, which was the monopoly of the public sector, will be thrown open to competition and the private sector would be eligible for running container trains. Friends, my government places special emphasis on improving the power situation in the country. The whole power projects being revived and is expected to start generating power this year. The Ministry of Power is facilitating the setting up of a 5 ultra-mega power projects with a capacity of 4,000 megawatt each through tariff-based competitive bidding. 3 plants, a coastal site based on the imported coal and the remaining 2 at pithead sites. More such power projects will be taken up to bridge the demand-supply gap. Friends, the telecommunication and information technology revolution is one of the success stories in our reform program. Owing to the effect of competition, telecom tariffs have continuously come down and today we have among the lowest tariffs in the world. A milestone in this has been the announcement of the One India plan by the public sector telecom service provides BSNL and MTNL recently. Keeping in view of the problem of inadequate availability of a spectrum for the commercial use, government proposes to put in place a mechanism for vacation of spectrum by existing users in government to make it available for commercial use in a time-bound manner. My government will ensure that manufacturing of electronic and telecom hardware in the country is given a big thrust. New initiatives are being taken to bring semiconductor manufacturing to India and build a manufacturing hub. The Special Economic Zones Act was notified in June 2005. My government will ensure creation of a required infrastructure and an appropriate framework to facilitate the rapid development of export-oriented manufacturing and services in the country. Drawing on the ideas put forward by a group of dedicated non-resident Indians, government has constituted a task force on petroleum, chemicals and petrochemical investment regions. This task force will evolve a policy framework for development of a sector-specific investment regions involving a world-class developers which can attract investment up to $10 billion in each location. To attain a rapid economic growth, it is essential that we step up investment in various sectors of the economy. My government intends to launching a 10-year national manufacturing initiative to make the manufacturing sector the prime driving force for employment and economic growth. Emphasis will be placed on labor-intensive sectors such as textiles and garments, leather and leather goods, food processing, IT hardware and electronics, and auto components. Focused attention will be given to the growth of our dynamic services sector, including software, outsourcing, tourism, education, healthcare, so as to create a large employment opportunities. We will also create a policy framework that attracts foreign direct investment, keeping in view our overall national interest. My government has taken appropriate decision to rationalize the FDI policy with a view to removing unnecessary hurdles and outdated restrictions. Honorable members, to ensure that every citizen of our republic is empowered to know how government programs are being implemented, we brought forward a path-breaking legislation to increase transparency in the functioning of the government at all levels. The Right to Information Act 2005 is an historic piece of legislation. By ensuring greater transparency in the functioning of the government, it will help reduce corruption. Reforming the instruments and process of governance is an important element of my government's reform agenda. We have taken several steps to begin this process from a very top. A new system of performance appraisal reports and appraisal by an eminent person group has been put in place of the existing system of annual confidential reports. My government is introducing mid-career training system with promotion based on a new criteria and an accelerated empanelment procedures for senior civil servants. A voluntary retirement non-promotion system on the basis of mid-career screening will be put in place for the all India services to ensure that the best and the brightest are rewarded for their performance and commitment to good governance. My government has instituted the Prime Minister's Award for Excellence in Public Administration to encourage initiative, efficiency, honesty, and commitment to a good governance among the civil servants. Steps have been initiated for setting up of the 6th Pay Commission for government employees. Friends, my government has set up an administrative reform commission to undertake a comprehensive review of government machinery at all levels and to end bureaucratization, thus fulfilling a commitment of the National Common Minimum Program. The National Disaster Management Authority has been operationalized and is expected to play a fruitful role in coordinating and planning disaster mitigation and management efforts. Friends, there is a need to pursue reform of our judicial system. There is a need to bring down pendency of cases in courts at all levels and reducing the time taken for deciding the cases. There is also pressing need to make justice accessible in an easy and comprehensible manner to all citizens. My government is working on proposal to address these issues through more courts, the use of technology and computerization, improved procedure, and introduction of local courts. Our electoral system has had an impeccable record and is the pride of our nation. However, there is always a scope for improvement, particularly in decriminalizing the electoral process, reducing the frivolous candidates, and providing more teeth to electoral officers. My government is working on proposal in all these areas. A national e-governance plan with the 25 mission model project has been prepared. A National Institute of Smart Governance is being set up, and a statewide area network will be created in all the states by 2007. A scheme for computerizing 13,348 district and subordinate courts has been separately launched under the overall direction of the committee chaired by the Chief Justice of India. To make Indian firms globally competitive and enable easy compliance with company law requirements, a path-breaking e-governance program known as MCA 21 is being launched this year. My government has recently amended the Constitution to facilitate the reservation in private unaided educational institutions for scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and other socially and educationally backward class of citizens. Parliament is also considering several bills brought forward by my government to socially and economically empower the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, other backward classes, and religious minorities. My government has introduced a landmark legislation for providing rights to tribal people on the land that has been historically under their possession. The backlog of unfilled reserved posts in government is being reduced speedily under a crash program. To prepare a scheduled caste and scheduled tribe candidates for the selection to academic position for doctoral studies, my government has launched the Rajiv Gandhi National Fellowship Scheme, under which 2,000 fellowships will be funded annually. Friends, the National Rural Employment Guarantee Act provides for improvement of private farmlands of scheduled tribes and scheduled castes. The Ministry of Tribal Affairs has initiated a special program to provide assistance to states for taking up minor irrigation scheme for land belonging to the scheduled tribes. My government has created a new Ministry of Minority Affairs to focus concentrated attention on the problem of all the minorities, including religious minorities. A National Commission for Minority Education Institution has been established. A bill for providing constitutional status to the Minorities Commission has been introduced in Parliament. A committee under Justice Rajendra Sachar is studying in depth the condition of minorities and is expected to recommend steps for their economic and social development and empowerment. Friends, a new 15-point program for minorities under preparation. This program will aim at enhancing the social development of the minorities, especially the poor, modernize madrasa education, and provide financial support for entrepreneurship, development, and self-employment. My government intends to propose a statutory measures to prevent and deal effectively with communal violence and communal offences and to enable rehabilitation of victims of communal rights. Honourable members, my government has taken a number of steps to ensure that the National Common Minimum Programme commitment regarding full equality to women is honoured. Amendments have been carried out in the Hindu Succession Act 1956 to give equal inheritance and rights to women in property. Government is also contemplating amendments to the Guardians and Wards of Act 1890, the Hindu Adaptation and Maintenance Act 1956, and the Hindu Minority and Guarantee Act 1956 to remove discriminatory provisions contained in them. A bill for the compulsory registration of marriages is also under active consideration. My government will make every effort to see that 33% reservation for women in Parliament and state legislature is made possible in the near future. The future. A new Ministry of Women and Child Development has been created to have focused attention on the problems of women and children. A National Plan of Action for Children has been approved and the National Commission for the Protection of Child Rights is being established. Our goal is to ensure that all children have a secure, healthy and happy childhood with access to education and health care. The Rajiv Gandhi National Creche Scheme for children of working mothers has been approved recently. This envisages establishment of nearly 30,000 creches for children. The Integrated Child Development Services Scheme is being universalized with nearly 1.88 lakh additional Anganwadis being sanctioned. With comprehensive range of prenatal and postnatal care services, immunization, nutrition and early childhood education services, the universalization of this program will be a great step forward in reducing infant and maternal mortality. We also need to take immediate steps to eliminate the female feticide and improve the juvenile sex ratio. Honourable members, you have passed a comprehensive bill to protect women from domestic violence. A bill on protection against the sexual harassment is shortly to be finalized. Suitable amendments to the Sati Prevention Act will also be shortly made. The Immoral Traffic Prevention Act is proposed to be amended to strengthen the provisions against trafficking in women and children. The Criminal Procedure Code has been amended to ensure greater protection of women. These include the prohibition of arrest of women after sunset and before sunrise, except in unavoidable circumstances, a provision to ensure immediate medical examination of the rape victim within 24 hours, DNA profiling and investigation by a judicial or metropolitan magistrate of incidents of rape in custody. Honourable members are aware of my view on the importance of investing in the knowledge economy. Since the ancient times, our society has greatly valued knowledge. Our democracy has enabled us to spread the benefits of knowledge more widely. Today, we live in a knowledge era in which every social and economic activity is driven by knowledge. My government has constituted the National Knowledge Commission to seek expert advice on how we can empower our people with skills and capabilities relevant to the knowledge era. The Commission is also expected to examine how we can modernize our educational system in keeping with the emerging requirements of the future. The Commission's report is shortly awaited. My government has in the meanwhile decided to create a new centers of excellence in basic sciences on the lines of the Indian Institute of Science in Kolkata, Pune and in Punjab. My government is investigating substantially in the science and technology field to promote domestic research and development, both public and private, so that India can emerge as a significant player in the knowledge era. We will work with partners across the world to promote the development and utilization of knowledge through collaborative efforts. Last year, friends, Cartosat-1, the high-resolution cartographic mapping satellite with a long-track stereo imaging capability, the first of its kind in the world, was launched, along with HAMSAT, reaffirming India's excellence in remote sensing and amateur radio operation. The PSLV C6 was itself launched from the recently established state-of-the-art second launch pad at Sriharikota. INSAT 4A, launched in December, will revolutionize the broadcasting infrastructure in our country, including DTH services. Our space scientists and telecommunications engineers have played a major role in empowering our teachers, media personnel, and creative professionals with the requisite technological means. This synergy has enabled India to emerge as a major knowledge, media, and entertainment power. My government will further strengthen our capabilities in this area of cultural and scientific development. The entertainment industry is getting linked to information technology. To explore ways and means of expanding our opportunities in this area, a task force of information, communication, and entertainment has recently been constituted. Given adequate attention, I am confident that our entertainment sector has the potential to be world-class and compete with the best. My government will take steps to strengthen the Indian entertainment industry so that it can achieve global scale and realize its potential. Our space program has been beneficial beyond our borders. During our current financial year, we have begun work on creating a Pan-African e-network project that will be bridging the digital divide in that continent. Indian expertise in IT, education and healthcare will eventually be available to 53 countries in Africa. My government is deeply committed to the protection and preservation of our environment, including all species of flora and fauna. A strategic program to increase the forest cover is proposed to be undertaken. The tiger is our national animal and an endangered species. A tiger task force was established last year, on whose suggestion actions being taken. My government proposes to create a National Tiger Conservation Authority for more effective management of our tiger resource. Steps are also being taken to reduce the poaching of these magnificent animals. For the first time, a draft national environment policy has been formulated to harmonize environmental, social, and economic imperatives. Honorable members, my government has taken a number of measures for the welfare of the people in the Northeast. Almost rupees 10,000 crores of investment is being made at Bongaigaon, Dibukar, and in Tripura in thermal power projects using local coal and gas. Particular emphasis will be given to the border areas in this region, especially Arunachal Pradesh, for infrastructure and road development. The accelerated Northeast Road Development Project is under consideration, which will provide connectivity to state capitals and district headquarters in the Northeast and include upgradation of such other stretches of national and state highways which are critical for the economic development of the region. Friends, my government is actively engaged in reviewing and streamlining of procedures under the non-lapsable central pool of resources for Northeast. A new industrial policy for the Northeast will be announced shortly. A Northeast health package is also being developed and will be put in place at the earliest. In order to address problems faced by the students and working women from the Northeast while living in national capital, a 500-bed girls' hostel in Delhi University and a 500-bed hostel for working women have been approved. My government will set up a National Institute of Technology in Tripura, a Central Institute of Technology in Kokrajhar, and an Indian Institute of Management in the Northeast. The proposed Northeastern Water Resource Authority is expected to ensure effective utilization of hydropower generation capacity in the region, especially in Arunachal Pradesh. The Northeastern Council has been revitalized and work on fencing along with the India-Bangladesh border is being speeded up. Honorable members, I am happy to inform you that Rs 24,000 crore package for Jammu and Kashmir has been successfully launched, and substantial progress has been made in several sectors. The response of the central and state government agencies and civil societies on large to the unfortunate earthquake in the state was commendable. The government's courageous decision to disperse the financial assistance for rehabilitation directly to the affected person has been appreciated by the people. According to the latest reports, most of the restoration work is nearly complete. Substantial help was received from other state government, public sector organizations and NGOs from all over the country. The Srinagar-Muzaffarabad bus service is operating normally, and my government's initiative in this regard has been universally acclaimed, most importantly by the people of Jammu and Kashmir. I pay tribute to the commitment of the people of the state to peace, which has given an impetus to the peace process and normalization of the situation at the ground level. Honorable members, my government has remained deeply committed to the national security and pursued two-pronged approach of the reaching out to disaffected sections of our society while dealing firmly with the terrorists and other anti-national forces. There has been an improvement in the law and order situation across the country, especially in Jammu and Kashmir and the northeastern states. The number of incidents of civilians killed and persons kidnapped in both Jammu and Kashmir and the northeast has registered a decline in the last year. Government is engaged in talks, including at the highest level, with a large number of political groups in both regions. These talks have progressed in a constructive manner and have contributed to receiving the sense of alienation among some of our people. My government has also expressed its willingness to talk to all political groups to address their governance grievances, and real or imaginary. All at the same time, my government is steadfast in resolve to combat terrorism, militancy, and extremism and to uphold the rule of law. We acted swiftly to deal with terrorist attacks in various parts of the country, including our national capital and in Bangalore at the Temple of Learning, the Indian Institute of Science. I was deeply distressed and pained by the senseless killing of so many innocent citizens, including a distinguished scientist. Government will act without fear or favor in bringing the guilty to book and will wage a relentless war against terrorism. We will work with all those committed to this battle from across the world. Honorable members, the nation is proud of our armed forces. My government has paid renewal attention to the requirement of our national defense and the welfare of the ex-servicemen. A Department of Ex-Servicemen Welfare has been created to focus on their issues and assist the families of our brave Jawans. We have approved an improved pension scheme for our ex-servicemen who retired before 1996, particularly our Jawans, which will benefit our million ex-servicemen. By pursuing defense modernization in a systematic manner, government has strengthened our military capability. This approach, taking account of our strategic environment and drawing on our technological prowess, will guide us in incoming years. Honorable members, the foreign policy of my country is, as has always been the case, guided by enlightened national interest. It has been oriented to enlarge our policy choice. My government has made vigorous efforts to build friendly and cooperative ties with our neighbors and to strengthen SAARC. India regards SAARC as an important forum for regional cooperation, and we look forward to Afghanistan joining SAARC as its 8th member. The entry into force of SAFTA on January 1, 2006 was a landmark. India will have the privilege of hosting the next SAARC summit, and in that context, the several initiatives we have proposed shall be pursued. My government has taken several steps to improve our relation with all our neighbors. The landmark visit of Prime Minister to Afghanistan in August 2005 has reinforced our commitment to help in the reconstruction of Afghanistan. There has also been a good progress in increased people-to-people contacts and the bilateral trade with all our neighbors, including Pakistan. The spontaneous outpouring of the sympathy and assistance from the people of India for the victims of the earthquake in Pakistan underlines the goodwill among the people of the two countries. While we remain concerned over infiltration and cross-border terrorism and expect Pakistan to fulfill its commitment in this regard, we reiterate our commitment to the composite dialogue process with Pakistan. The opening of new bus links between Amritsar and Lahore, Amritsar and Nankana Sahib, and the opening of the Kokrapar-Munapao rail link are further steps in promoting people-to-people contacts between our two countries. We attach high importance to strengthening our relation with our global economic partners. Our relation with the United States underwent a substantial transformation in 2005. And we carry forward our strategic partnership based on July 18 joint statement of the Prime Minister and US President. Government expects that the country may gain access to international cooperation for enlargement of our civilian nuclear energy sector based on the reciprocal commitments of India and the US in the joint statement. Parliament will be apprised of the ongoing discussion on this subject in this session. The India-US relationship also encompasses many more important issues. Major initiatives are underway to encourage the expansion of investment, trade and technology transfer, accelerate cooperation, agriculture, health and human resource development in cooperation for energy security, a framework for defense cooperation and expanding cooperation on key global challenges. My government has continued to pursue the objective of a comprehensive re-engagement with Russia. Our time-tested friendship with Russia has led to the growth and development of extensive ties of cooperation in the fields of oil, gas, trade, investment, nuclear energy, space, high technology, and defense. My state visit to Russia, the annual summit-level meeting between Prime Minister and the Russian President, and a large number of cabinet-level exchanges will give the impetus to this. Government hopes to further strengthen our relationship, especially in the areas of strategic importance in the days to come. We are working to build our relationship with China on the basis of a strategic and cooperative partnership forged during the visit of Chinese Premier Wen Jiabao in April 2005. A positive start has been made in the second phase of discussion between the special representatives on the boundary question based on the agreement on the political parameters and guiding principle signed in April 2005, and we are looking forward to this process gaining further momentum. Our ties with the European Union and its 25 member states have expanded considerably. India maintains strategic partnership with France, Germany, and the UK with regular interaction on the highest level. Prime Minister Blair had a fruitful visit last year which strengthened the relationship between our two countries. The forthcoming visit of the President of France is expected to give a new thrust to our relationship with this important and influential friend. Friends, our Look East policy was further strengthened with India's participation in the historic East Asia Summit held in Kuala Lumpur, which has the potential of defining the future regional architecture. The Prime Minister of Singapore, His Excellency Mr. Lee Hsien Loong, paid a state visit to India in June 2005, during which Singapore and India signed a comprehensive economic cooperation agreement which has become a benchmark. Our interaction with this region is active. We hosted the President of Indonesia and Prime Minister of Thailand recently. Recently, I myself paid a state visit to Singapore, Philippines, and the Republic of Korea, which have strengthened our relationship with them. Our relations with Japan have been reinforced by high-level interaction and dialogue. The global partnership established between India and Japan acquired a fresh orientation during the visit in April 2005 of the Prime Minister of Japan, and we look forward to a close and cooperative engagement on bilateral and global issues. My government is paying close attention to our ties with the countries of the Gulf region that has become home of over 4 million Indians and a major source of supply of our oil and gas. We were privileged to receive His Majesty the King of Saudi Arabia, the custodian of the two holy mosques, as the chief guest at the Republic Day 2006. This visit has opened a new vista and enlarged our traditional ties. The Emir of Qatar visited India in April 2005, followed by the First Lady recently. We attach very high importance to West Asian issues and remain supportive of the efforts of the international community in finding just and durable solution to the problem faced by the Palestinian people so that they may achieve a state of their own. Friends, at the same time, we attach high importance to our friendly relation with Israel, which we hope to strengthen and diversify. This last year saw a marked change in the global perception of India as an influential actor on the international stage. This was a recognition of our emergence as a strong economy, of our ability to adjust to change, economic and social, and of our capability to shoulder responsibilities, global and regional. Overseas Indians have contributed in a major way to this changed perception, and my government has recognized their contribution by launching a overseas citizenship scheme for persons of Indian origin. We are also planning to grant voting rights to non-resident Indians. By hosting the 2010 Commonwealth Games and bidding for the 2012 Asian Games, we hope to enhance our global stature further. Honorable members, in conclusion, I return to the theme I began with. Our country is destined to regain its due place in the comity of nations in the 21st century. However, there is much we must act at home and realize this potential and fulfill the aspiration of our people. My government is committed to doing so through the National Common Minimum Program. Today, the economy is poised for a better performance. My government believes that our people will respond handsomely if we pursue policies that invest in their capabilities and liberate their creativity and enterprise. This requires a good governance. Good governance today implies more efficient use of public finances in sectors in which government must invest and less government intervention in the areas where individual initiative can achieve more. No country has prospered by printing money or incurring excessive debt. Only through hard work, higher productivity, and prudent management of resources, human, natural, and financial, can prosperity be achieved. My government is committed to the judicious management of public finances, to the efficient management of public utilities and enterprises, and to the pursuit of reform in all its dimensions. At the same time, there is a need for maintaining communal harmony and promoting an inclusive society in which every section of society feels secure, empowered, and confident about their future. My government is committed towards creating such an environment so that the latent potential of our people can blossom and create a new India for our dreams. Honorable members, this is an important session of Parliament. The people of our country who have sent you here as their representative sincerely hope that you will make the best use of the time available to represent their interests. I urge you to devote your energies to a mature consideration of the business of the both houses of parliament and act in the best interest of the country and our citizens. Time is precious. Please do not waste it. Your my best wishes in all your noble endeavors be in the service of our people. Jai Hind. God bless you.
महामहिम, आपने यहाँ भी एक साथ सम्मिलित दोनों सदनों में अभिभाषण किया है। आपकी अनुमति से मैं अभिभाषण के हिंदी पाठ के आरंभ तथा अंत के अंश पढ़ता हूँ। कृपया शेष पढ़ा हुआ मान लिया जाए। माननीय सदस्यगण, आप सबको मेरा अभिवादन। नए वर्ष के आगमन पर हम आशावादी हैं। अपने सामर्थ्य की ऊंचाइयों को छूता हुआ 1 अरब की जनसंख्या वाला राष्ट्र उल्लास की अनुभूति देता है। यह अनुभूति सहज ग्राह्य है। केवल आर्थिक विकास के आंकड़े या दुनिया भारत में उपलब्ध अवसर के प्रति दिखाया गया उत्साह ही इस बेला को रोमांचक नहीं बनाते। यह सच है कि एक देश के रूप में हम सब ने मिलकर अतीत के मतभेद भुलाने का निर्णय कर लिया है कि हमने अपने राजतंत्र में उपचारक भावना पुनः उत्पादन कर दी है कि हम अपने समाज में सर्वसमावेशिता को बोध को वापस ले आए हैं और अपने अर्थव्यवस्था को उद्देश्य परकता की प्रदान की है। माननीय सदस्यगण, सदन का एक महत्वपूर्ण सत्र है। हमारे देश के लोग जिन्होंने अपने प्रतिनिधियों के रूप में आपको यहाँ भेजा है, हार्दिक आशा करते हैं कि उनके हितों का प्रतिनिधित्व करने के लिए आप उपलब्ध समय का सर्वोत्तम उपयोग करेंगे। मैं आपसे आग्रह करता हूँ कि आप संसद के दोनों सदनों की कार्रवाई पर परिपक्व विचार विमर्श हेतु अपनी ऊर्जा लगाएंगे और देश और हमारे नागरिकों के सर्वोत्तम हितों के अनुरूप कार्य करेंगे। समय मूल्यवान है, कृपया इसे नष्ट न करें। जनता की सेवा में आपके सच्चे प्रयासों में सफलता के लिए मेरी शुभकामनाएं। जय हिंद।
संसद भवन में केंद्रीय कक्ष में अब से कुछ ही देर पहले महामहिम राष्ट्रपति डॉक्टर A.P.J. अब्दुल कलाम ने संसद के दोनों सदनों को संबोधित किया और हम अपने सभी देखने वालों को ये बताना चाहेंगे कि जब भी वर्ष का पहला अधिवेशन या सत्र आरंभ होता है, महामहिम राष्ट्रपति महोदय संसद के दोनों सदनों को संबोधित करते हैं। इसके अलावा जब भी नई लोकसभा का गठन होता है, तब भी जो पहला सत्र होता है उसमें दोनों सदनों को संबोधित करते हैं महामहिम राष्ट्रपति महोदय। और आज डॉक्टर A.P.J. अब्दुल कलाम हमारे महामहिम राष्ट्रपति महोदय, उन्होंने संसद के दोनों सदनों को संबोधित किया और बजट सत्र जो आज से ही आरंभ हो रहा है, एक तरह से उसका शुभारंभ किया। उपराष्ट्रपति महोदय, प्रधानमंत्री, लोकसभा अध्यक्ष और संसदीय कार्य मंत्री अब महामहिम राष्ट्रपति महोदय को विदाई देते हुए और ये बताते हुए कि केंद्रीय कक्ष में कुछ ही देर पहले महामहिम राष्ट्रपति महोदय उन्होंने संसद के दोनों सदनों को संबोधित किया। उसकी संयुक्त बैठक होती है और उन दोनों को संबोधित किया जाता है। अब ये धीरे धीरे गेट नंबर 5 की ओर बढ़ते हुए राष्ट्रपति महोदय, ये जो द्वार संख्या 5 है वो विशेष रूप से इसी के लिए बनाया जाता है जहां से राष्ट्रपति महोदय आते हैं। और इसी जानकारी के साथ मैं प्रदीप शर्मा आप सभी को दूरदर्शन स्टूडियोज वापस लिए चलता हूं।